So the next one I'd like to have a crack at talking about is the letters of Vincent van Gogh, or Van Gogh as I'd been mistakenly saying for the last 6 months. A Penguins classic, and I was thinking to myself when I bought it, that's a bit of a cheat. It's not really a classic, is it? But it's actually a fantastic book. It's a very recent translation with a lot of narrative description of the life of Vincent van Gogh, provided by the translators. For a bit of context, one tiny quibble I would have with the book is that while we have ample letters from Vincent van Gogh's archive, the responding letters from his brother Theo, and his sister, this aren't included in it, nor are the letters that Paul Gauguin or Emile Bernard sent him, but it's still really, really good. He was a very good writer in his letters. You know, obviously letters were the main form of communication in these days, and it has to be said there must have been a fantastic postal system in Holland and Belgium and France back in the day, because letters between these folks were whizzing around with great regularity. So on to the subject matter itself. The things I found particularly interesting about the book was that I didn't realise that Vincent van Gogh as a young man had been devoutly Christian, and had been, after leaving his job at Goupil's art dealership, was trying to become a pastor for a couple of years. It was his personal life and experiences in trying to form a relationship with his cousin Gogh that led to him schisming away from his devotion to Christianity. Was he atheistic or agnostic later on? He was very well read and certainly had very articulate views of, secular beliefs later in his life. But he certainly felt that his art was suffused with a sort of a very great human sort of yearning for the divine as well. So I personally found that an extremely interesting kind of facet of his life story. Again, the other thing that's very, very interesting about the letters is his description of what good art consists of and how it ought to be produced. Very much a martyr to the cause, and very much both beholden to his brother Theo for financial assistance to carry out his art, but also aware that it was kind of limiting him as well, and it kind of conflicted him a lot. We're on a hill again, hence the huffing and puffing. So yes, the letters detail someone that was very dedicated to their art, felt it should be produced from the direct experience of seeing the thing rather than being an artifact of your imagination, which set him at odds, as far as I can see, with the impressionist painters that he was habituated with towards the end of his life when he was most productive. Having been lucky enough to see a very large display of his paintings in the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam, I can certainly confirm that they're more impressive when you see him in real life. Some photos or close-ups to explain the detail of his painting look they don't look all that impressive, so you really don't need to see him in real life, IRL. But yeah, a fantastic warmth to the paintings. Obviously the very pronounced use of yellow just gives the whole thing a very sunny aspect, even though they're frequently depicting quite lonely, desolate or impoverished scenes, especially with all the Belgian and French artisans he's seen labouring out in the fields who were the subject of so many of his paintings. But yeah, well worth reading. Very good to see what the thoughts of someone who probably would have been a voracious reader, maybe a bit of a pain in the arse possibly, but certainly very concerned with human expression in art. And if you get your hands on it, I certainly recommend it for a read. We're going uphill again, so I'm going to sign off here.